Hi everybody, Victoria Vane here. I am broadcasting tonight live from my very messy sewing room. I didn't show you the real mess. I am excited to join the party for Ackerman's repository, Regency Fashions. I'm very excited about Susanna's book. I was probably one of the first people to buy a copy this morning. I think it just went live this morning. So, and I'm eager to get the print book, but I don't see that it's out yet. The print without the commentary, Susanna, if you could tell me when that's available. I definitely want a copy because I use books a great deal. I will show you. I use a lot of books. I love books that have, here's theatrical costumes, here's the evolution of fashion. I have Janet Arnold's, I forgot the name of the book. Anyway, it's a book by Janet Arnold that goes from the 18th to the 19th century. I love that book, and I love looking at fashion plates. I get a lot of inspiration for my sewing from fashion plates, so I'm really excited to study the fashion plates in the book and to maybe come up with some of my own creations. So I hope everybody can hear me. Am I coming through, you all? I don't see any comments yet. So my name is Victoria Vane. If you don't know me, I am a historical and contemporary romance author with 39 published books. I've been published since 2008. I also write historical fiction. My first two books were historical fiction set in the 18th century. I'm a history junkie big time, but I'm also a very passionate historical fashionista. So I started sewing historical clothing about 2.5 years ago. At first, I really didn't know what I was doing. I started off with one pattern, and somebody posted a question about that pattern today. It's Butterick 6630. It's a Regency dress. That was the very first dress I ever made, and I made it about a dozen times, and since then I've moved on to, I've made, in 2.5 years, I've made 105 historical garments, mostly for women, but I've made a few things for men too. I've made things from the medieval era all the way up to, I have one dress that's vintage 1960 that I'm going to be wearing this coming week, or I should say next week, at Lori Foster's event. I call it my James Bond dress. But I have a Facebook page, Renaissance to Regency, Historical Couture, where I post pictures of everything I make. So as I said, I'm here live in my sewing room, and I don't see a clock on my phone, so y'all have to warn me if I start going overtime. But I wanted to show you what I'm working on, and I also would be delighted to answer any questions y'all have about historical sewing. Whether it's how to make something, I mean, obviously I can't teach you how to make something, but I can give you some really good resources. Where to find patterns, what kind of fabrics to use, any questions you have about historical sewing or historical fashion that I can answer, I will. I will show you the dress that I'm working on right now. I started it just a few days ago. It's my very first authentic, and it is a very authentic pattern. It's a historical pattern that I'm using, my own version of it, because I had to make modifications. It's a French sack gown, which was worn in the 18th century, so about 50 years before the Regency. It was very popular from about 1720 till the 1760s. The fashion evolved a little bit, the bodice changed a little bit, the sleeves changed a little bit, but this basic kind of dress was very popular for half a century because it's a beautiful dress. So I'm going to show you the one I'm working on. It is almost, is 90% finished as of right now. So this is a Georgian sack gown. I am putting the trim on it now. This ruffle here is just pinned on. Everything else on this dress is finished. So it's going to have the ruffle down both sides. So this is a stomacher. This is removable, and the dress laces underneath. It has front laces. I'll give you a close-up. Here's a pretty view of the sleeve. It's a flounce sleeve. I put bows on both the front and on the back of the sleeve, so there's a pretty little bow on the back view. I'm going to spin it around so you can see why they call it a sack dress. It's a very lovely flowing style of dress. So this is the back. I should spread it out a little bit. Okay, so it comes down like a cape from the shoulder, and this cape effect is part of the dress. The cape is not a separate piece. It is made into the dress. It's part of the skirt. So this is kind of a complex dress to make, and all the patterns say that it's one of the hardest dresses to make. But honestly, once you've made one, it's really not that hard. It's just initially understanding how it's constructed, because it's got a very unusual construction. But I think this is one of the most elegant, beautiful dresses, and they did revive this style actually in the Victorian era. There are dresses in the Victorian era that have the same back on them. They're different in the front, but they have that same back. I've seen a Victorian tea gown that has a sack back. So it is a beautiful style of dress. I don't see any comments. So either I'm doing something wrong or the comments are not popping up. Is anybody out there? It says I'm live. Hello, hello. I feel all alone. Hope I didn't mess this up. So anyway, I was hoping to answer some questions. I don't see any questions. But this is a Georgian sack dress. Now, since this is Regency Fashion Night, I have been dying. I've done a lot of Regency dresses. Hey, Susanna, you're there. Hey, I'm glad to see you. I don't see any questions popping up. I was hoping to answer some questions. But since we're talking about Regency fashion, being honest, Regency has never been my favorite. And I will tell you why. Because most of the Regency dresses I had seen until recently, your fashion prints have really opened up a whole new world. But just the plain little empire waist, puffy sleeve, cotton dress. Honestly, my taste is more flamboyant. So I didn't get real excited about those until about a year ago. I made a Regency dress. I've made a bunch of them, but I made one for myself. And I made to go with it a redingote. And I got really excited about that. I did a redingote in raspberry colored velvet and taffeta. And I made the dress to match it, and I made the bonnet to match it. And I've got it on my Renaissance to Regency historical couture. If you go under my photos, you'll see raspberry Regency. So I really fell in love with the redingote. So after that, I bought patterns to do more redingotes and pelisses. And what's exciting to me about the Regency era isn't the basic dress. To me is the foundation. What's exciting about the Regency is all the little accessories that really made a fashion statement. The dress itself, you see a lot of the little white sheer dresses with the puffy sleeves, but they really make a statement when they're worn with a half robe, or, you know, with the turban, with the big plume, or with the little spencer. You know, when you start adding the accessories, then the fashion gets really interesting and fun. I'm going to show you real quick. I have 3 fabrics that I had pulled out. When I go shopping for dressmaking, I see fabric, and in my mind, I immediately see the dress that fabric would, in my mind, be perfect for. So I have something really unusual to show you. I saw this fabric. It's silk, and I fell in love with it, and I immediately thought it would make the coolest Regency dress. And you're going to think this is really unusual. This is a gold and cream diagonal check. It looks almost like a court jester pattern. And that just looked fun and frivolous, and the color and everything about it, I think, would just make a fabulous, really fabulous Regency dress. Along with that, I bought some gold, matching gold shantung, which, if you don't know what shantung is, it's a fabric, it's a silk, and it's woven in a way that you can use either side of it. Usually fabric has a right side and a wrong side. Well, with shantung, one side looks like raw silk, or it looks like dupioni. but the other side looks like a high quality satin, like a bridal satin, and it's beautiful. So I'll show you that too. I'll show you the gold. So my thought was, this is the satin side, and the color is a little different, but I think those two would work together. This is the shiny side, and then this is the more raw silk side. So I can see a dress out of this, and maybe a spencer or an overgown out of this, and along with that gold, I have something really special that I picked up that I've been dying to use for a Regency dress. Y'all are going to love this. Check this one out. I've been saving this. Isn't this gorgeous? This again is a shantung. So you see one side of it is the silk. The other side of it is the satin. But since this is embroidered, you can only use this side of it. And isn't that interesting how different the color is on the back side? But this only does have one right side. It's a really pretty, almost a salmon pink with this gorgeous gold embroidery all around it. So this is the bottom. This is the bottom of it, and then this is the top of it. And I think this would make a gorgeous dress. And Susanna, I would put it with this gold to do a two-piece dress. I'm thinking gold for an undergown, and then to do a half robe with a train, like an Empress Josephine type thing, out of this pink and gold. So wouldn't that be beautiful together? I think. So when I see fabric, I see the dress. And I've been holding on to these for a while. I sew for a lot of people. I take commissions all the time. And my closet's already full. I don't need any more dresses for myself. So I've been kind of waiting for someone to ask for something really special. And I would use these. But if nobody asks me pretty soon, I'm going to be making them for myself. Because I really am dying to see these fabrics as a Regency dress. I am probably out of time. Am I out of time yet? Is it 7:15? I do have a giveaway. Susanna, you have to be my timekeeper. Is your print book out yet? Or can you tell me when it's going to be out? The one without with just the images? Because I did look for that today. I looked for it several times today. So I'm looking for your comments. So, all right, I have a giveaway. I'm up in my sewing room now. I will go down to my computer downstairs. So in a few minutes, I'm going to post a giveaway. 1 minute. Okay, perfect. I'm going to post a giveaway. I've only written one true Regency book, and it is one of my very, very favorite stories. It's called The Redemption of Julian Price. The rest of my historicals are mostly set in the Georgian era. That's why I said I've only written one true Regency. And I've written this 12th century Scottish series. So, okay, good. Susanna, let me know when that's available. I do want to get a hard copy of it. I did buy the ebook. Okay, so I'm going to give away a copy of The Redemption of Julian Price. And I will ask you guys, yes, I will save this video and repost it. I'll repost it on my page, and I'll repost it in the group. So hopefully people will come and say hello. I'll leave my contest open. I'll leave my contest open for a day or two. So my contest is this. Post for me a picture of a Regency dress that you think would look beautiful with the fabrics I showed you. Either the gold diamond one, golden cream diamond one, or the pink with the gold embroidery. So you might get some ideas from Susanna's book. But post me pictures of beautiful Regency dresses that would work with these fabrics, and maybe you'll inspire my next creation. So, love you guys. Bye.